Howdy, folks. Is Vile Mike's here, and I got Elihu down there. LDG is there. Chris is going to be back. He was here earlier, and it's been one of those weeks again, hasn't it, Elihu?
To quote Mel Brooks, "Oy vey." Sorry, I gotta quote him. I gotta quote him properly. Oy fucking vey.
NB, due to something else that happened on another person's stream, I'm not going to post the link anymore. Send me a message next week or before next week on Twitter, and I will try to send you the link. I just can't do it right now because I'm doing everything on the phone and I can't bring up Twitter and StreamYards at the same time. So, hopefully you're doing good, man, because we haven't seen you in a while. So, I want to start out with something a little bit smaller to start out with. Is that okay, Elihu?
I don't want to talk about your penis.
Why not?
Because I want to talk about your penis this morning. So let's talk about something large.
Okay. Earlier last week, I think it was Monday, we find out something that was that didn't get a lot of media coverage, and I can understand why because of everything else going on. But have you heard about the how Trump fired the 6 members of the DC Projects Oversight Committee?
Is this have to do with the them criticizing the ballroom?
Well, no, it was basically, I don't know if they criticized it at all, but I do know that they were one of the ones that were supposed to be overseeing how the money is supposed to be spent on this because it's a DC project.
Yeah.
They're supposed to go over the blueprint plans, make sure everything's
no
up to code.
There's no blueprints that have been formalized or submitted.
And that was what they said, is essentially, you shouldn't have torn it down without submitting the blueprints to us. And he's like, oh, okay, in that case, you're all fired.
Yeah. I heard a little bit about that. That's why I mentioned that. Ballroom thing, yeah. Yeah, anybody who basically has been criticizing the president has been subject to what's the proper word right now? Targeting, focused targeting and surveillance by the mega crowd. You say something negative about Trump, okay, you're flagged.
And Dandelion, I did send you the link on Instagram because I know you're not on Twitter. So you're the only person I sent to personally, just in case. Yeah, that was one of the few things that it's a small issue, but it's like, I'm wondering what's going to happen with this whole ballroom. I wonder if it's going to get finished before he leaves office. So
I doubt it. Nobody's been actually doing any construction or cleanup from the White House. The mess is still on the ground. Let's just say save the chat back there for when the stream starts.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, I've only had 3 cups of coffee.
I had a cup of coffee earlier. I already finished it because, just crossing the border was one thing.
Yeah, I'm just starting to wake and bake over a new pipe. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Let me turn it around.
Well, what's on the other side?
Oh, this is my bowl. This is Rick.
Oh.
Rick! Silicone. Nice.
All right, and now let's go ahead and go to one of the bigger things. The name of the stream, which was Secretary of War Crimes. Because as far as I can tell, the targeting of these narco-terrorist speedboats is possibly a war crime, especially when you fire on a boat that's already been sank to kill 2 more people.
Yeah, I've been looking at this and reading some of the narratives. I just want to make it clear to everybody: no member of Congress, or no member of the House of Representatives have actually seen the full video of the so-called strike, this alleged strike. I want to let that be clear. What they have been reiterating was information that have been relayed to from the Department of War itself. Okay, I just want to make sure clear to everybody. Nobody has seen the full video. What's been claimed was by Pete Kagebreath was on Fox. He saw the whole thing. Then his narrative changed. Said he saw 2 strikes. Then the narrative changed again. Saw 1 strike. Didn't see anything. Then he left. I'm like, okay. His narrative is changing several times. We don't know the full story. The only thing that came out from Pete is that the 11 people on board was on a list of known smugglers. I'm like,
well, no.
Okay.
Apparently, it was not just that. It was a list of known military targets.
Yeah, sorry, no military targets. Sorry.
And I would really be interested into finding out how they knew that, considering they didn't, they're using drone and satellite information, and I don't think they could have confirmed how many people were on the boat, let alone one of the things someone else pointed out to me was, and I'm not saying these people are good people at all, but these types of drug smugglers also do human trafficking. So it's entirely possible that there was innocent people who were being trafficked on board this boat.
Yeah, Bradley even told him, quote, Hegseth told him to kill everybody on board and to destroy the vessel. The official and person familiar with the briefing said.
Well, from what I've seen, he said something along the lines of just kill them all. He didn't say anything about actually ordering the second strike. That is something he's vehemently denied, and
Bradley told lawmakers that the orders he received from Hegseth were to kill the individuals on the appropriate progress, which included everyone on the boat, then destroy the drugs, then sink the boats.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. You were talking about the general or admiral. I can't remember his rank. But I was talking about Hegseth himself. Because originally it was, I wasn't even there, it didn't happen, to I wasn't there.
And this boat allegedly was going to somewhere else, not the 1,600 miles to the United States coast, which that boat can only go about 200 miles. And they are reporting there is no radio evidence equipment found on that boat before the strike. So they were not calling it for help. There is a video which got deleted on X. I don't know, thank you very much, Elon Musk. The actual boat strike, and you see 2 people standing on the boat waving their hands in the air. That little clip got deleted from X. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, to be honest, I don't know if that was. Yeah, I don't know if that was something that someone may have created.
No, that was an actual video from a representative, from a Congress member.
Yeah, and we know that
a lot of AI from government lately.
Politicians have been screwing stuff up a lot, either intentionally or accidentally. So I'm not going to go into that. I can't, and I didn't see it, so I can't confirm or deny.
Okay, then that's my question. Are these boat strikes AI generated video, or are they actually happening?
I would assume that based on the video of the original, the short clip that they released, but since that was a release from the actual, Department of Home, or Department, it wasn't, who did it? Was the Department of Navy? I think it was the Department of Navy.
What about them?
Oh, that's weird. I'm sorry, Dandelion.
Try hitting the little circle refresh button. Yeah, I sent you a couple clips on X as well.
But here's the other thing. They keep saying they were filled with fentanyl, but that's coming from a country that seems to mostly create heroin, not fentanyl. And it's also from a country where, like, I think it was somewhere around 90% of their, illegal drug exports are to Europe, not the United States.
Yeah, I see that as well from into the country. I got a little thing right here. It says, I'm calling him Cake Breath from now on. Sorry. Cake Breath and administration deny he personally ordered the second strike on the survivors. The official positions, the strike was authorized under his general direction, but carried out by the controlling officer on the scene. He's laying blame now.
Well, what I'm worried about is, the person who had to push the actual button.
That
Well, I'm
would
sure
have
some
been the
fentanyl
officer
comes
in charge.
from Venezuela, but I don't think the amounts they're talking about.
It was cocaine, not fentanyl. That's what they said. It was allegedly the boat had cocaine on it, not fentanyl. I don't see any word fentanyl, just cocaine.
And I thought this administration was pro cocaine, or at least Don Jr. was. So,
it's kind of interesting that the Trump administration is going after the traffickers, but not the organizers, because he keeps on pardoning them and giving them presidential pardons. Like, what the fuck is going on with this?
Anyway, that's something I did mention, but thank you. So, yeah, this is retaliatory against Venezuela for something, and I'm not exactly sure what it is. There's been a lot of conspiracy theories, but I don't think there's enough evidence to go for either one of them, or for any of them.
He did say in his campaign speech a couple of years ago about Venezuela, and we're gonna get that oil, unquote.
Well, that's what I fear that it actually is. It's not something that's been talked about a lot, because a lot of people are saying stuff like, one of the conspiracy theories was what the reason Trump is going after Venezuela is because of how Venezuela rigged the 2020 election against him.
I thought it was Russia who did that, then Mexico who did that, the Democrats who did that.
Apparently it was Venezuela.
Yeah. Now it was Venezuela? Wow.
No, they've tried to tie it to Venezuela for a while because they said the voting machine thing, remember?
Oh.
But I don't think it's the drug issue as much as they want. They want to seem like, oh, we're going to be tough on drugs, when they literally just pardoned. What was his name? The president of what country? Honduras?
Yeah.
Who, when he was a drug dealer, one of those big cartel leaders that are apparently, being labeled as terrorists, he was one of them. And they're like, oh, you're saying the stuff we want you to say, so we're going to pardon you. Yeah, Dandelion.
I have a list of where the name's at. One moment. I'm looking for it. Sorry.
Sorry, Gap. Are you saying that this person said that they rigged the U.S. election or the Venezuela election? Because I can see them rigging the Venezuelan election. I don't see them rigging the electronic machines in the U.S., considering those are closed systems. You'd have to do something at the source, which, if they had done something at the source, the inspectors for those machines would have found it.
What's that? Where is it?
Yeah, and he may have said that, but as I said, as far as I know, based on the lawsuits regarding My Pillow Guy and Fox News, yeah, they ended up settling, or you know what I'm talking about.
Okay, I found a list. Alice Marie Johnson was convicted in cocaine trafficking. Ross Ulbricht, founder of Silk Road. Michael Harry O. Harris, convicted for drug dealing and related crimes, pardoned. Welton Angelillo, sentenced to legendary federal term 2000 for marijuana distribution plus firearms charge. Larry Hoover, long imprisoned gangster disciple leader, convicted of charges that include drug conspiracy, trafficking, and murder. Here we go. Juan Orlando Hernandez, former Honduran president, convicted in the U.S. court for aiding and accepting bribes from traffickers and facilitating cocaine shipments. Yeah, he's going after the people who are doing the transport, but not the organizers.
Yeah,
it's like ICE going after people who are working here illegally, but not arresting people who hire them, which is against the fucking law.
Well, I'm not going to go into ICE just yet because,
Well, it's an example. It's an example.
But yeah, it's like if you bend and kiss the ring, you will be pardoned. And okay, there you are, Chris.
Yep. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah. So we're talking about the speedboat attack, missile strikes right now. I know they happened back in September, but all the news is coming out about them right now. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But what are you? Since you're here now, what are your feelings on that? Because that's why I named this particular stream the Secretary of War Crimes.
Listen, you know what? I think it's fucking hilarious that they're still sitting here saying that Trump is the peacetime president. Look at this; he should win the Nobel Peace Prize, and yet he's sitting there. There's two ways to look at this. He's either a blathering fucking idiot, or he just doesn't give a shit.
Both.
No, it's one or the other, because he acts like the idiot. Like, oh, I don't know. He says it was this way. I believe him. That's the problem. Everybody, there's no accountability right now. There's no accountability. Back in September or whenever it came out, late September, I think it was, when these attacks started, Pete has said he was viewing every attack to make sure that there were no issues, that they believed they were in the complete right. And now, as soon as this happens, there was a second strike on this boat because there were two people still alive. And everybody raised like, oh my God, there were people, you purposely killed two people instead of going and picking them up, putting them on a boat, bringing them back to the United States for trial.
Chris, you said it correctly. There is no accountability. What's the point of charging or impeaching?
Let him finish. Okay. We've been talking.
Okay. I'll fix my bowl.
When that came out, everybody was up in arms, like, oh my God, they killed two people. Now he's like, well, I was there for the first part of the attack and I left. I'm a busy man. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, dude, you cannot change your story. It's just like if he was a murder suspect, his case just got blown away. Well, I was there, but now no, but I left. And that's when he died. Or so, it's like if you listen to it and put the same principles you would to any normal bystander. What was that?
Oh, Danny Lamb was saying 1984 is an instruction manual, not as a cautionary tale.
Yeah. But so, and then they said their defense was, well, first off, the worst thing you can do as a Secretary of Defense, I'm sorry, the Secretary of War bullshit. Defense, it's about everything to do with it. Yeah. Oops, did I say that? But then they're like, oh, but they were trying to climb back on the boat and get the drugs. Dude, the boat's destroyed. They're not going anywhere. Go pick them up. It's like, what type of defense is that? And then you throw a commander under the boat, under the bus, because when you throw the commander under the bus, that's pure cowardice.
Hold on, you got me on something.
I was going to say, while you look it up, I was going to say, Chris, you said it right. There was no accountability basically out the window because they can do whatever the fuck they want, and all Trump has to do is like, okay, a pardon. So what the fuck is the point of this?
Laconia? Hold on.
If Trump's going to give a pardon to his little loyalists, what's the point of actually prosecuting them or trying to seek justice or accountability for these guys if Trump's just going to pardon them?
That's kind of the issue too right now. But then again, these crimes don't go away. So
I know, but they can still get pardoned.
Well, but the thing is, you're not listening to me. You just jump in there and you're not waiting for the second part of my thing. They don't go away. Therefore, if they wanted to, if they were able to depose or leave or wait till he leaves, they can still come after Pete Hegseth. That's something that everybody who's following orders like this, everybody who's enacting orders like this needs to understand. You may not get tried right now, but Trump's ability to pardon you goes away in 2.5 years.
All right. So one of the things you brought up reminded me of one of the other excuses they gave for firing the second missile, and that was to clear the debris more so it wouldn't interfere with naval shipping traffic. And yeah,
it's a speedboat.
But here's the thing: in World War II, the Laconia, which was a British ship that was sunk by it was a passenger liner that was sunk by a U-boat. One of the things they did, or the commander of that sub fired an additional missile at the survivors of that boat as they were, the debris of the boat was all around them. They were on lifeboats. For those that survived, they fired more torpedoes into those survivors because they wanted to kill them in order for them to not be able to report the location of the U-boat. Now, during their trial at Nuremberg, they were one of the first trials there for the crew. Sorry, the German crew. One of the things they tried to pass off was saying we were trying to clear the debris, essentially, because as a safety and navigational hazard. The fact that the survivors were in the way shouldn't have mattered.
And that's not how it works.
So
at that point in time.
But I'm just, what amazes me is that's literally, they're literally using the excuses the Nazis gave at their war crimes trials.
Hey, let's just thank God they didn't want to clear the debris in 9/11 that way.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking shit.
Let's just put some dynamite out there and blow it into smaller bits.
Let me use it. Let me use an atomic bomb to pick up some trash. Freaking.
I'm just interested. And again, if you're a supporter of Trump, you have every right to be that way. Okay, if you agree with these things, fine. I'm not going to get into the full details of this. I don't agree with the way that we're going this like freaking scorched earth approach to drugs. Okay, I don't mind attacking, or I don't mind, let me rephrase that. I don't mind finding a tough love theory of working against drugs. We've done it in the past, but it's like America can't find that nice, buttery, good zone of how to fight drugs because we either go and hide in the jungles and attack without being on the record, or we do something like this. This is very much on the record. They're not hiding from this. I mean, if anything about this, they're not hiding from it. Granted, I don't know how you can when you're shooting cruise missiles at a speedboat, but hey, but the thing is that if you support Trump and you support this, it's fine. It's not the point. The point is that we have to have accountability, that we ask other people. We're sitting here trying to help Ukraine into war, and we're point blank bringing up these crimes that we're saying that Putin's doing, yet for the same thing, we're doing the same thing. Listen, guilty or not, the men on that boat need to be picked up. Anybody left alive needs to be picked up. This is what we do. This is why Guantanamo Bay exists, or wherever you want to send them. But you pick them up, you bring them back, you you give them medical care to bring them back into a condition that they can be tried. You try them. If they're found guilty, you put them in jail, and you go the same way. That is the rules of America. It doesn't matter your nationality. That used to be how we handled violent criminals who were here illegally. The answer isn't to deport everybody or kill everybody. That is not the answer, because if you deport people, it is a known fact that violent criminals deported out of this country will come back to this country and will get in. It's happened time and time and time again, no matter what the immigration policy is. And just because you think deporting everybody is the answer, that is not the answer, because the ones you don't want here will come back. The ones that are okay here, who work hard and do the things they're supposed to do, won't.
I have an
And-
answer after Gap's question about the rules
Well, I
of
was going to
engagement.
tell him, Legal Eagle did a wonderful video on this. I'm going to see if I can
Mhm.
pull up the video for you, or at least,
I've probably seen it. I watch them quite a bit.
You want to read the rules of engagements? I found the official rules.
No, I know
Yeah.
what they are. I don't need to hear it. I mean, you can. If Mike
well,
wants
no,
to
I mean-
read it, you can.
Can you explain to Gap, because he put it in the chat, and I thought if you were,
Okay.
you served, I didn't.
Yeah,
Go
I know.
ahead,
Chris
Bill.
knows what they are. Chris knows what they are.
Go ahead and read them, because
Okay, the rules of engagement is detect, identify, warn, deter, disable, destroy. Survivors, they're not supposed to be killed.
No.
LOAC is clear. Once the threat is neutralized, anyone who is out of combat, wounded, surrendering, in the water, escaping the sinking vessel is protected. Intentionally killing survivors is illegal, a war crime, and absolutely not part of U.S. military procedures. If conditions allow, forces are actually supposed to rescue, capture, or at a minimum, not harm survivors. Even if the boat was hostile, doesn't matter. The moment the enemy stops fighting, is incapacitated, is in the water, or signal surrender, they are treated as, quote, non-combatants.
And
That's the rules of engagement. Yeah.
Now,
Sorry.
and
Now,
I will
here's what
point out
they-
that one of the things that, sorry for interrupting you, Chris, but one of the things that Legal Eagle did point out is there's a difference when it comes to ocean warfare versus land warfare.
Mhm.
And when you're on land, people can run away, essentially. They're not going to die by staying still like they will in the water. And when you're in the water, if you don't swim to safety, you're going to drown eventually.
Mhm. Well,
Yeah,
see,
that's why I like
so-
the water for them.
So again, this goes back to, and I've talked about this several times. This goes back to the poking the law. How firm is this law? Is this law real, or is there room to negotiate? So war crimes, again, the war crime rules, if I remember right, and Elihu, give me a date. They were set after World War II. The current ones we're running on. Elihu, what year
I
was
believe so.
I think after the whole Nazi
Coughing,
Germany
sorry.
thing.
Sorry, hang on. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah. I could be wrong. It might be, they might have added stuff to it. It might be something that's, but I mean, most of them came out of World War II because of the way the Germans handled a lot of people. But
Okay, the rules of war were added August 12th, 1949.
okay,
1949,
yeah.
August 12th, 1949.
No, it's still
The
World War II.
The current Uniform Code of Military Justice was passed by Congress May 5th, 1950.
Yeah. So see, how's that for being out for as long as I?
Yeah.
Still the same. So here's what they're doing. And again, another reason why we don't necessarily change laws, we have to redefine what they mean in today's terms. What does it mean? So here's the thing. Rule states that if they are neutralized and in the water, that we're supposed to pick them up and bring them back for court, or to release it to a NATO court. I mean, there's some ways around that, but this particular, because it is not quote unquote war, will be rule number one that they will fight. Well, this isn't war. We're not in an active state of war. We were attacking a vessel nowhere near our waters, but again, we'll go out of the way of the ridiculousness of their defenses that I guarantee they'll get. One, not an act of war because we are not at war. Two, oh, they were still actively attempting to do the illegal act because they were going back to the boat to save the drugs. By the way, folks, boat was completely neutralized. This is not an arguable fact. Even Hegseth said that. Even Hegseth has said, I watched the boat get neutralized and I left. I did not see the second attack. The second attack, it was not to neutralize. So when it kills people, that's the other thing. But they're going to say that they were still actively in the commission of what they were doing before. They're going to say that's like somebody's, like, even if you have them surrounded, somebody starts shooting people, in a wartime, or you have a boat that is engines dead, on fire, but you still have guys with a deck gun and shooting. That's still actively in that moment, them attempting to still engage you. That's what they're saying, them swimming back to the boat to get the drugs. They're going to say they were still actively in that moment doing the thing that we engaged them for in the first place. These are the things they're going to try to argue. Now, granted, I don't think anything's going to come of this right now. If I was Pete Hegseth, the second, because here's the thing, if this continues, I guarantee you Trump's going to just push him off and say bye-bye, because that's how he does it, and then those people pay. Now,
hey, Chris,
I don't think they'll go after him. I don't think
you.
they'll go after him, because I still think even if he pushes him off and lets him hang for what this is, I still think that Trump would pardon him. So,
got a question for you, Chris. Do you have any follow-up information about the fishermen from Colombia that Cake Breath ordered a strike on? That was not drug traffickers, but actual fishermen. Do you have any follow-up on that?
Not right now. I mean, that right there, that's why we don't do this. That's why no other, again, the United States has a horrible time of finding the right way to handle the drug situation in America. You can do what they're doing now, which again, I don't agree with totally, but I totally get why. But it's a moment we need to sit there and say, how do we do this exactly? Because again, we're going south, way south, to fight this. We should be paying attention to our borders. We should be putting more people at our docks, at our shipping lanes, and our shipping yards in like San Diego, LA, Chicago, New York, Miami, Charleston, all these places. That's where we should be focusing on this. And if you want to put naval vessels or Coast Guard vessels that are heavily armed 30 miles outside of the United States, and anybody that doesn't allow them to board right there, if you want to start boarding every major ship or small ship 30 miles outside of the United States, I would not argue that fact. And if they don't stop, then you destroy them outside of in our waters. Fair enough. Okay. I mean, I don't agree with it, but I'm going to say, if you were doing that, that's one thing. Going down to Venezuela, going down south away from our waters and doing this is completely illegal. It is an act of war, whether or not we are in war right now. It's an act of war by the United States.
I wanted to bring up the invasion of Tijuana that happened not too long ago, right here in my area, where due to a GPS error, they meant to put signs on beaches that are in on the U.S. side of the border. But no, they go to Tijuana and they put up signs saying this is U.S. territory. You can't come here. Blah blah blah. And yeah, if it happened between almost any other country, that would have been a huge international incident. But because of the turmoil in Mexico, as well as the incompetence of the current military, leadership, let's say, yeah, the United States accidentally invaded Tijuana.
It's
But
just
when it comes to Hegseth, I brought up the article again. One of the there is a congressperson who has started articles of impeachment against Hegseth. As for let's see.
I can tell you who.
I don't.
Oh, did you answered it already, Elihu? Never mind.
Yeah,
we're talking
Shiri
about-
Fandier has introduced articles of impeachment against Hagrath.
Oh, you can't do that? I don't know why.
What?
I sent it on Instagram.
Elihu, send her the last part of this.
I will. One moment. Let me get this here.
Yeah,
Hang on
she's
a
the only.
second.
I didn't even send it to you personally. Did I send it to you personally, Chris? I don't think I did.
No, I got it off of
Yeah.
the Twitter thing.
Yeah.
It's not
So-
that. For some reason, so her phone used to be able to click a link and go to her computer. Now
Really?
it doesn't do it. Yeah, well, she has Apple, and Apple used to do that. I guess either her phone is outdated on that or something. I don't know what exactly it is. But
One moment, girl.
she just needs she can't for some reason she just needs the StreamYard.com, but after that, like the
Yeah, I know.
slash and after. Oh, well, I know you know. I'm explaining
Oh.
it to Mike. Anyways,
Let's see if she can actually click on it once this time and it'll work, unlike last week, when she had to click on it twice to work.
So
I don't know.
I don't know if these articles of impeachment will go anywhere.
No,
'Cause
because I
it's-
don't think there's enough Republicans that will go against her or against Trump. And I mean, again, what are you gonna do? So what? You remove him from it, and the next person comes in. Trump is okay. Again. If you're not aware of your own people, a captain on a ship is supposed to be aware and in charge of everything that goes on, whether or not they absolutely know everything that's going on. They rely on for instance, let's just go very basic. Let's say you're on a freighter. You're going to have a person that's in charge of the engineering or the engine room, and that person's supposed to report to the captain, whatever's going on down there. If they're having problems with a certain person, that the engineer might have a right to remove the person from their job, but ultimately it's supposed to be the captain that says they're off the boat. Nowadays, though, companies get in the way of that, so it might have to go above the captain. But theoretically, the captain's supposed to be the top of the top dog. Same thing with the president.
But the thing is, nowadays, the leadership doesn't get the blame. It's the middle management that gets the blame.
I understand that. Well, and that's not unlike anything in corporate America. It happens all the time. That's not the point. But the point is the term that Teddy Roosevelt went with. The buck stops here. And so many presidents right around that time, I think FDR felt that way. I think Teddy Roosevelt felt that way. I know Harry Truman felt that way. Harry Truman came from from Missouri. Missouri's state motto is the show me state. Why we chose that is because we didn't want to just hear it and have you tell us and sugarcoat it and make it sound like it was going to happen. No, show me that's the way. I can't believe that Missouri is voting somebody in that never shows us any true moral value of any sort. Again, I don't get involved in your family morality. I don't care about that. But your morality in what your job is, we aren't holding him accountable for that. That's horrible. But he's supposed to know. So him alone, and I'm going to go to the point of moreover than him acting stupid to all this and it being bad as him being president. I'm going to go bigger than that. I'm going to say when the world looks at the United States right now and hears Trump go like, I don't know, he told me this, I don't know. What they hear is there's no leadership here and that we're an easy target. That's what they hear. And that's why NATO is having a problem with this right now. It's because NATO's like, this is the United States. The United States is the firmest, strongest portion of this alliance. And right now, they look like complete blathering morons.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. The world's defense, the countries that have come together to fight things like what's going on in Ukraine and other places in the world, that defense is severely depleted because we have a country, us, who has no direction, has no care, has no accountability. I mean,
All right.
he isn't even concrete on having no like even what's going on. He doesn't have any sort of direction. It's just like whatever.
When it comes to like what you're saying about the U.S., you know, we have the biggest military. We're the biggest part military wise when it comes to NATO, and we're fucking it up essentially. It reminds me of when I was a kid, and before the first time my dad, uncle, and grandfather took me out hunting. They said because they had work, except for my dad because whatever. They were going to have one of their neighbors show me how to shoot for a while. I mean, I'd shot before, but I'd never shot a living thing before. So he wanted, to have me more familiarized with the weapons. And they kept telling me, he's got the most guns in the area. He's the most knowledgeable. He's former military. He knows what he's talking about. And I believed them. He took me out and we went shooting for like 3 or 4 hours almost. And he shot like a dozen different types of guns. A few weeks later, again, this was the expert. This is the guy that, knew everything, had the most experience, had the most weapons. He was accidentally shot by a snake because he left a loaded weapon on top of his snake cage. The snake got out, wrapped itself around the gun, and because the snake was small enough, it went through the trigger guard and pulled the trigger and shot him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it shot him in the hand and it did very little damage. But this is... It's like after that happened, would you want me to go to him and learn how to shoot a gun? The guy that got shot by a fucking snake?
Maybe not, but still, it's
well, you think about this. He'll never get shot by a snake again.
probably true.
I mean, it's like
you never know.
If you want somebody who wants to protect you from getting burnt, do you want somebody who's actually been burnt or somebody who's never been burnt? Like
there's some.
I'd rather get someone who's been trained to fight fires.
Yeah, dude.
So, I mean, I get what he's saying. I mean, and I don't.
You can't take a punch until you take a punch. How about that one?
Well, the first thing about when I was learning Taekwondo is you got to learn to take a hit before you actually hit anybody.
You actually have to be hit in order to learn how to take a hit.
Taekwondo, I was hit.
Do you not want the person who got hit really hard?
What's funny about that is at the point where one of the reasons he wanted me to get, my family wanted me to learn to get, in addition to not having shot a living thing before, was by that time I had already been shot by my brother.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's not good.
I had been shot already.
What's his name, for Pete's sake? Of course, he's not.
Oh,
kind of
Daniel, I can tell you so many stupid gun stories coming out of Texas, at least East Texas.
That guy's name?
But for the last bit, I wanted to talk about what's going on with Senator Mark Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris, I'm going to defer to you a little bit because you're the one who's actually served.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about them trying to reactivate him so they could court-martial him for what he said?
I've said this already. It's ridiculous. I don't think a court-martial will even take this because they're going to look at him and go like, wait a minute. What did he do that requires... that's literally, again, for things like if he were to murder somebody, maybe, because then you have to do that to take away his retirement. That's how you get. That's basically how you have to do it. There has to be a court martial for that. I get the idea. I get the thought process behind what they're trying to do. Trust me, they're just trying to fuck him over. Let's be honest. They're just trying to fuck him over. I'd like to think that, much like other courts, they're not just going to do this at the whim of idiots that aren't happy that he's saying bad things against them. They have fucking the weakest fucking backbones of anybody, because it hurts them that he told, not them, but the people who serve this country, don't follow illegal orders. Oh, I'm sorry. He reiterated a law. If this goes to court martial, and maybe it will get seen by a court martial, but I think it'll get thrown out immediately if it even makes it that far. But if it makes it to a court martial, they're going to have to say, listen, what did he do wrong? He didn't tell them, don't follow orders. He didn't tell them, kill your commanders or walk off the job. He didn't tell them, sit on your ass and do nothing. He said, basically verbatim, a law.
The Uniform Code of Military Justice. Yeah.
How are you going to find him guilty in a court martial, in a court of law, anywhere? It's like saying, I was going 55, I got stopped for going 55 in a 55, I was brought into court, I had a ticket, and I walked in and it says, speed limit says 55. I was going 55. It's on the ticket. Why was I stopped? There's no reason. Thrown out. That's the way this is. I've watched cops get yelled at in court because they've brought people into court for stupid shit. I would love to see. I don't even think the adjutant general is going to fucking touch this thing. They could reactivate them all day, and they're still going to look at it. They're trying right now. They're trying to scramble to find one stupid idiot who's willing to put their fucking career on the line to go there. And that's the problem we're coming up to. Everybody who touches something that is a product of Trump or Hegseth or anybody else in this group that has, and let me really be careful how I phrase this, because I'm primarily talking about military people, because in military, the longer you're in, the more prestigious your career begins to be. Now, yes, you want ribbons, you want to show that you've been in war, you want to show a lot of things. That really helps. I mean, so if you're a 3-star general that just happened to get to be a 3-star general without, and this isn't possible, but let's just say you got a 3-star general without ever spending any active duty combat time against somebody who has active duty combat time that's a 3-star general, that 3-star general that has active duty combat is going to be considered a better, more powerful general than you are. But anybody who's spent 20 plus years or 15 plus, 10 plus years in the military who takes this should know right then, my career's over. No matter how this goes, my career that I've spent all this time on is over. This is like, I don't know. This is basically, this is like a legal Ponzi scheme they're trying to run right now. There's no money being exchanged, but it's a bunch of people that says, if you do this, we'll give you this, we'll give you this, we'll give you this. And then they throw them out to the wolves. I don't see this going anywhere. I think, and again, this is the problem with having somebody that has no clue what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah,
hold on.
One of those times where I really wish my mom was still alive, because she was a court reporter for the JAG office at Fort Leavenworth when she served in the United States Army. And now she would be able to explain probably this better than even you could. But, and my experience with that is just the stories she's told me when I was, a kid. I don't have a lot of experience with it, but to me, like, as far as I can see from a lot of the stuff that I've seen written about this, when you are retired, you're even if you're retired, you're still part of the military.
You get if you retire or if you're full 100% pension, 60% pension, whatever, because of injury or something for DAV. Yeah.
But
Well,
Uh,
if you're any of those things, I don't know about the full rules of how you get it taken away from you. I assume that has to do something with court martial, but nobody talks about it because by the time you get that far along, normally they're like, you're done. Bye. Have a great life. And they don't think about it. Again, to bring him in on something where he spoke written law and nothing more, how is that against the rules?
well,
no
again,
different
I hate
than
to go to Legal Eagle on this. They did a great video about it, and they actually got Mark Kelly to show on the thing. They basically pointed out he wasn't in uniform when he said it, because if he had been in uniform, they may have had something a case, but he wasn't in uniform. He didn't mention names.
Exactly.
So he didn't mention names. He didn't tell them to break any laws or break any part of the military code. And he's also a freaking representative for this government. So when you combine the fact that, yes, he's a retired military, but he's also a politician, it's supposed to give you a lot more leeway with your words, with your free speech. And like you said, I don't see this case going somewhere, but I do see this administration finding somebody incompetent to still put him on trial the same way they did with Pam Bondi and what's her face in the Eastern Court of Virginia against Comey and Letitia James.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's not over either. I'm just going to tell you right now, that's not over either. They're going to still try because.
Oh yeah, they're going to try, but.
And I hate using this term in the situation that it is because it makes it sound like there could be something there. Maybe there is. I mean, I don't know what they have or what they think they have. Right now, though, it was a technicality that got them both off because they got rid of the prosecutor that brought the charges. So now they have to go back and recharge. Problem is, and here's where I laugh right now. If that's the case, why didn't they just go turn around and say, okay, fine, we're going to charge them right now? The day after they should have charged them. They haven't yet. So this is now that what they're doing. Somebody underneath this idiot that he's put in there, whatever her name is, has said, folks, bring that up again. Okay, all right, good. Here's the problem. People don't understand this about grand juries. Everybody think, and I think Legal Eagle has done this. A lot of other lawyers have done this on YouTube. They say it always sounds bad when somebody says somebody was found that they should stand trial for murder because the grand jury brought charges against or agreed to bring charges against them. Folks, grand juries are part of our legal system. They don't have to bring any. Listen, you could show two pieces of evidence: one, the dead body; two, the guy you say killed somebody, but has a gun in a picture with his kid with a buck. Yeah, like this, a hunting picture, and they could say, "Look, there's a gun. The guy can shoot, and this guy's dead. He did it," and that could be enough for a grand jury to say, "Okay, yeah, let's try him."
Yeah, grand juries are dime a dozen when it comes to who they're going to indict. And in fact, one of the funnier parts, again, I used to work for a law firm. We handled medical malpractice, and anytime a doctor was held criminally liable, we'd have to file a grand jury indictment on the behalf of a prosecutor for the San Diego court system, Superior Court System, or sorry, the California Superior Court System. And it's insane how little evidence you need to actually indict somebody.
And it's because the person who's under investigation by the grand jury, their legal team can't say anything. They can't object anything. It doesn't matter what evidence the prosecutor. It's fully it's a show. The prosecution puts out evidence that they want to show that proves their point. That's easy to do. The fact that a grand jury didn't go after Letitia James this time should show you how much of a farce it is. And here's the next problem: if they try to go against Comey, the only person who changed in that prosecuting office was the top of it. What's her name?
I keep forgetting her
Kelly-
name because she's
Is it Kelly something?
No.
Or whatever. Anyways, the only person who got changed was the top. The top person that they took out said there's nothing there. So now they might be saying, go prove he did this. Go back. And they're gonna look at it and go like, here's the evidence we have. We couldn't do it. We've already done this. And they're wasting money trying to do this. It's like he can't. This administration and the people that he puts in place cannot take no. And I'm not saying that this particular wannabe prosecutor won't take no. She just doesn't. She knows she can't. She knows she can't go back with a no. So she's sitting there going like, she's going to ask AI to draw this convincing picture or something. I don't know. It's so stupid. Yes,
well, here's the thing. The other part of it is technically the statute of limitations on whatever crimes Comey committed, which was perjury and something else. I can't remember what the other one was. Has already passed. That's why they were in a rush to file everything. Again, I keep going to Legal Eagle because he's the YouTuber that I listen to the most when it comes to this. But I love the fact that if you go to his webpage about it, he actually gives you the citations he uses.
Yeah.
Which is great. But there is like one tiny trick to still indict him because of the error that they committed in the first place. So we'll see what happens. Again,
it's ridiculous. They're wasting taxpayers' money, and nobody's holding anybody accountable in this. It's like, oh well, it doesn't really count.
Well,
it doesn't matter.
that's also a large portion of that is because this administration, did a great purge of all the parts of the executive branch that their job is to oversee and provide the checks and balances on the executive branch. And I now that he's got, when you got your cronies in those spots, they're not going to go against you.
Well, the problem is that you can't get rid of every judge. The only people you can get rid of judges who are appointed by presidents are the presidents who appointed them, unless you can show actual mistakes in what they've done. And even Trump's own appointees have gone against him. And I think that's a positive sign in the sense that there are enough, even the Supreme Court, for the most part, right now, knock on wood, has done a decent job of sticking to the letter of the law. And as long as our judicial branch and our judicial people in the country follow this and let things go the way they always have. Yes, you can appeal. Yes, it'll go up here. Yes, it'll keep going. It'll keep going. As long as that goes, this is just your computer on the spinning wheel of death. That's all we're in right now. That's what our government is right now. It is the Windows version of the spinning wheel of death. Nothing's really going to happen, and it's just going to keep spinning and 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 spinning. All that. And it just amazes me, though, that nobody calls this administration out for the fact that where do you think all this millions of dollars it takes to prosecute these things goes? Where do you think it comes from? It comes from the United States government. So when we start talking about the economy stinks right now, and everybody thought that Trump was going to fix that, which I'm sorry, those of you who thought that, okay, anyways,
Well, especially with certain things that have been happening. But go ahead and give your final thoughts because I'm going to end the stream
just
fairly soon because I got stuff to do in between the two streams this time. I want as much time as possible.
just that if you don't start holding the guy that's pushing for all this, and again, he does a very good job of going like, I don't know, when you know he's the guy saying it. No, lovely.
Yeah, that was one of the things Eli sent me, and I haven't been able to confirm it yet about it's only going to be Democrat-run states.
Yeah, that's what was issued. The statements by Trump.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if that's the only reason why he's doing it, then it's going to go to court and be stopped. Because you can't. That's not a reason to stop it. Just saying.
But
again, though, it doesn't help you that it'll be paused for the time that it takes to get anywhere. So,
I'm supposed to get mine on Thursday. I think it's paused on Tuesday.
Well, maybe I'll have to do an auxiliary stream or something later on. Because with the news cycle, I mean, it's nuts trying to maintain. I mean, I'm literally keeping a freaking notepad now to make sure that I don't forget things that happened on Monday right after the stream. So, all right, I will see you guys in about 30 minutes. I got to go do some stuff before the CNA stream. So, yeah, I'll just see you guys later.
Later, I need more coffee.
Later, guys.